People will always tell you to show up every day and be consistent, and that's the secret to success. I think it's missing most of the story there. I think the key to success is showing up every day, being consistent with intention. And that's the key. If you don't show up every day with intention, that it's just the equivalent of rocking up somewhere and just standing there. So if the advice that you receive is just show up, and that's the key to success. Okay, sure, I can just rock up and just sit in my desk all day. I'm showing up, right? No, you need to have some intention behind it. And being consistent, okay, I can be consistent with doing nothing, but it doesn't work like that. And it's mostly people that are selling you something. Let's face it. Someone that's selling you something will be like, show up every day and be consistent. And that sounds pretty easy because you don't actually have to put much effort in. I can sit on the couch all day. That's showing up. That's showing up and literally playing a show on the TV. So my intention is make an app business that generates enough revenue for me to continue making an app business, making videos and support my family and not worry about bills. I'm getting there. That's my intention. Show up every day, show up, do this, show up, do the coding, be consistent. The first thing you can do is stop everything you're doing and subscribe right now. I'll wait. Good work, good work, good work, good work. Because I want to reach 501 subscribers for my birthday. That would be an absolutely amazing gift from you to me. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can give me a beautiful gift for my birthday, which will be 501 subscribers. So you can be that number one. So you can look at that. When I reach 501 subscribers, that number one, that one is you. So subscribe. Gather around the campfire, kids. We're going to share the story, the perilous story of how I purchased an app and all of the mistakes I made in the process. So 6 months ago, I purchased an app off one of those marketplaces. I've been building apps now for a few years, and I've noticed that it takes about 6 months to 9 months to actually generate any sort of meaningful downloads from the app. So I wanted to see if I could sidestep that process by acquiring an app that was already acquiring users. So I went to some of those marketplaces to find apps that met my requirements. And the requirements that I was looking for was ideally making some money, some revenue at the moment. But most importantly, I was looking at the reputation of the app, how many stars, how many ratings it's got, and how many users were being acquired each month. So I wanted to sidestep the process of trying to get an app to grow from 0 users to hundreds of users per week or per day. And I thought a great way to do that would basically be to acquire an app that had already done the hard work and was already acquiring users. So it was a pretty good idea, I thought. I did make some mistakes in the process of acquiring the app, and this is the story of how the whole thing unfolded. I wanted an app that people that were following me would want to download, and also I wanted to build something in public, so I actually wanted an app that I could purchase and turn from not generating much revenue to being a really good success story. So I was looking for apps that would have high number of users acquired and ideally low revenue. It's probably flipping it on its head in terms of how people generally would purchase these types of businesses. But I think people that purchase these types of businesses are not coders and not product people, and they're looking to purchase the existing revenue or the existing business. Whereas I think I'm looking at it more in terms of I can apply my learnings with developing products and developing apps in the past, and they're most likely, I want to find an app that they've under monetized, so they haven't actually worked out what they've got. The app that I found was an app called Subfollow. It was a widget tracking app for YouTube and for Twitter. So it had 211 reviews, about 4.2 stars, and only a monthly revenue of $10. But the really important part is it had 461 downloads per month. And I went through the process of doing some due diligence, contacted the seller, we got some screenshots sent over, and sure enough, it's only making $10, $12 a month. In my mind, I'm thinking this is a really great app that I can start implementing some of my processes and practices on to just instantly boost the revenue and have a bit of a success story, have something on my portfolio that people would actually use. Straight away, I found some issues with the app itself, and this came up during the due diligence process, so I was able to spot it. Namely, the Twitter functionality, the Twitter follow account wasn't working, and I didn't mind because this is the time in the internet history where Elon just had taken over Twitter and was charging stupid amounts to use the API. So in the back of my mind, I actually didn't want to create another Twitter follow tracker. I'd actually already created two of those, one called Top Followers, one called Follow Tracker. And I got hit hard by the API change. They wanted $42,000 for me to continue using this, $42,000 per month for me to continue to use the API on an app that I wasn't even generating a single dollar from. So I scrapped those projects and decided I'm never building a Twitter API app again. I don't want to be burned. I don't want to have a big hole in my wallet if I needed to purchase a $42,000 API key. So it turns out this app had the API key revoked, and I brought it to the attention as a bit of a negotiation point to try to bring the price down. And I said, look, I'll take it as it is for $600, or I'll purchase it for our agreed price of $900. Straight away, you might see some math issues there. The app's making $10 a month. I bought it for $900. That was really probably one of the first mistakes I made. But like I said, I'm looking more at the user acquisition, not the monthly revenue. I wanted to make sure that I purchased an app that was generating downloads and users to monetize those users. So I was happy to pay it. I tried to use it as a point to bring the price down, but surprise, surprise, he was able to find an API key that he was using in the past, updated it, it was working. Happy days for him. My negotiation of the price, not so happy. So the app itself, the description was, this app tracks and displays YouTube subscriber counts, offers insights for creators to monitor and analyze their channel growth. And like I said, it was basically, the primary feature was a widget on the home screen that shows you your current users, how many subscribers you have. So now I've got this app. It's transferred into my name. We've gone through the whole due diligence process. We've gone through the money's transferred. It lands in my App Store Connect account. Straight away, one thing I noticed is just how many negative reviews it has overseas. I did discover at this moment that I was only seeing the reviews in the Australian App Store, and they were kind of positive somehow, but there was a lot of negative reviews happening all around the world. And as you remember, what I wanted to do with this app was to have it as a hero app on my portfolio, have a bit of a success story that I've turned this app that was making $10 a month into $200, $400 a month recurring revenue. Now, all of a sudden, I'm finding that there's some issues. And the more I dig into it, the more issues I'm finding. The first issue I find in the code itself is that all the API keys are being transferred in plain text across the network. Anyone with any basic level of snooping will have the ability to very, very, very quickly find your API key, rack up your bills, and potentially you could get a bill from Elon Musk for $42,000 a month because you've gone over the threshold for the free API. So now my priority is to update this app, get the API keys changed as quickly as possible before someone steals the API key and I rack up all that silly money. I jump into the code. Yes, it's UI Kit. It's not Swift UI. Okay, I'm going to have to learn UI Kit. I've delved a little bit in UI Kit, but not too much. It looks a bit foreign to me versus Swift UI. But then I find there's this really weird stuff happening with it where I can't find the code for this button, and I can't find where this button, what's happening over here. And it turns out it's using storyboards, which I'd never known about before. And it's basically a visual way of creating an app. So, okay, the API key is in plain text. I can update that and I can push an update through. I built a quick backend server that will act as a proxy. The app connects to my server. My server does all the API stuff, so no one can I can't leak the API key. No one can steal the API key. And even if they did find access to the backend server, I've put some limit restrictions on there so they can't just hammer the server over and over and over. But if I want to make any changes to this app, I have to learn not only UI kit, but also storyboards. And this storyboards thing, I was playing around with it and I couldn't get my head around it. This is all of a sudden becoming a bit too hard. I'm starting to think I need to redevelop this whole app in SwiftUI. Granted, it's not the biggest of apps. It's just a widget tracking app that shows you your number of subscriptions. First on the list was fixing the security holes. Next, let's sit back and assess what needs to be done to this app to get it to that $200, $400 per month recurring revenue. Currently $10 a month. How do I get it to $400 a month? The business model was a once-off lifetime subscription for a lifetime offer for 99 cents. Straight away, I'm thinking to myself, this is fantastic because if I just offer a monthly subscription or an annual subscription, I can charge them a lot more than 99 cents. And on top of that, I can create a recurring revenue from it. Great. There's plenty of downloads happening and there's plenty of functionality that I want to add to the app to add enough value to justify having a subscription based. So I start drafting a list of the features that I want to put into this app. So it's things like multiple accounts, tracking individual video stats, and redesigning the widgets was on the list. Well, redesigning the app itself. The widgets I actually liked the look of. The user interface was horrible. I didn't know how to update it in this storyboards thing. And that's when I did get a message from Arjun Durija. And the message that he sent to me was that this app was actually a direct, exact copy of his app called Subwidget. And I tell you, my heart sank immediately. This app that I purchased that I wanted to put on blast to show that it's gone from, I'm making it go from $0 to $200, $400 per month. I'm going to put it on my portfolio. It's going to be my hero app that's got hundreds of reviews. You're telling me now that it's a copycat app. I don't want to have a copycat app on my portfolio, and I don't want it to be my hero app. So straight away, I'm thinking that timeline of converting it over to Swift UI is now all of a sudden not a distant future thing, but it's a now thing. So I sat down and did quite a bit of coding. I did a 24-hour coding session and I get the app up and running the way that I want it. It's got subscribers on there. It's got the number of views, the number of videos, and now you can track the actual videos themselves. And on the widget, the big widget, you can have your latest 3 videos and how many views they've had, how many likes they've got. Fantastic. Also updated the app icon and went through the process of doing a bit of analysis of the App Store Optimisation. I didn't like the name anymore. The name was originally called Subfollow and it was a direct copycat of Subwidget. So I want it to be a bit more App Store Optimization friendly. So most people, when they're looking to count their YouTube subscribers or to have a widget, they'll type in like subscriber count widget or YouTube subscriber widget. So I wanted to have the keywords YouTube in there, subscriber count and widget. And the way that I did that is the app is called Subscriber Count for YouTube. Now, one of the things that I found in my independent app building career is that if you want to target licensed or trademarked keywords and you want to make it very apparent that your app isn't endorsed by that trademark, then a great way to do that is just to have for and then the brand name. So you could have like subscriber tracker for Twitter, or in this case, subscriber count for YouTube. And then the nice thing there is you get the keyword YouTube, you get the keyword subscriber count. So I'm trying a bit of a big approach there, trying to get all of the keywords in the one place. So I've rebuilt the app and I'm going down the process of, do I just implement the subscription functionality now and very quickly do a bit of a bait and switch where I've purchased this app. Now, instead of being 99 cents per lifetime offer, it's going to be $14.95 a year. But I decided against that. My business model that's worked really well in the past has been release the app for free, get on the App Store, get plenty of reviews happening so that it increases the rankings in the App Store optimization. Now, because this app had a lot of bad reviews that I hadn't seen, I wanted to replace those bad reviews with good reviews and start to increase the reputation of the app. So that means that I release the app for free to make as much value as possible. People can download it, and in exchange, what I'm asking for is a review, hopefully. The app now does multiple accounts. The widgets are great and fantastic. It's no longer a copycat account, and it's free. Let's get it up on the App Store. And I get it up on the App Store, and straight away, the first reviews start to trickle in. And this makes me incredibly happy. The first review 1 day after release was awesome widgets with the new update. I love the big widget option that shows the channel statistics and a couple of metrics from the last 3 videos with 3 clapping emojis. Job well done. I'm very pleased and very happy with myself. I've released the app and then I've left it on the back burner. So what did I achieve from acquiring an app? By acquiring this app, I achieved rebuilding the app from scratch, releasing it with the exact same business model that I would release with any other app, letting it sit on the App Store for 6 to 9 months until it increases in App Store optimization and rankings. So basically, I've just done the exact same process that I've ever done creating my own apps, but this time I started with $900 out of pocket. Fantastic. Lots of learning there for me. Pat on the back. But it was a fun journey. So now we're at that stage where it's 6 months down the path and I've created a YouTube channel. So now I've installed my own app. I've mothballed it. I haven't used it. Didn't have a YouTube channel. I had no intention of tracking how many subscribers my YouTube channel had because it had 0 subscribers. I'm now invested in this app because I want to track how many subscribers I have. By the way, remember, I want to reach 500 subscribers by my birthday in July. You can really, really help me out by subscribing to my YouTube channel and my Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you can do all 3, that'll be fantastic. But whichever one you're listening to this on, subscribe there. That'll be fine. I want to reach 500 subscribers and that will make me very happy. You can help me out by doing that by subscribing and that would be fantastic. Anyway, I haven't looked at the stats in this for 6 months. I've downloaded the app and I've downloaded my own app. I put it on my phone. Now I'm using it as a user, which is usually how I make all of my apps. Usually I have a need for an app and I'll create it and develop it. And then I would, what they call dog fooding it. So dog fooding is that process of using it yourself and you're your own tester. And people ask me, how do you come up with app ideas? And if I'm not purchasing an app, so when I'm purchasing an app, that's one thing. I'll usually be developing my own app. When you're purchasing an app, theoretically what you're doing is you're also purchasing the idea, I guess. And people often ask me, like, how do you come up with ideas for your apps? And it's quite simple. I'll tell you the secret. Are you ready? The secret is, don't make things you don't want to use and don't make things that aren't interesting. So just make note of anything you're doing in your life that you're like, there could be an app for this. I would like an app for this. And most of my successful apps have come from the kids just showing me something. And I sit there and think, okay, that's a cool idea. I'll turn that into an app. One example is an app that I made for my now toddler. He was 6 months old and he wasn't really engaging all that with the apps I was creating. So I really wanted to get him into my apps. But clearly he doesn't want a YouTube subscriber counter app. But I did have a book for him. Well, my partner bought a book for him, and it had like high contrast shapes, the black and white shapes. And on the back of the book, it said children between the ages of newborn to 6 months to 9 months, they can't actually see like flashing colors and they can't differentiate fast motion. But what they do see is high contrast, and the high contrast being like a white silhouette of an image on a black background. So one of the apps I created a few years ago was just that. It was just a simple like screensaver almost with high contrast characters. And one of the ones that I put on there was like ladybugs and unicorns and all that sort of thing. And at one stage, it was generating about $300 per month. Back to subscriber count for YouTube. Oh, and one of the other things is subscriber count for YouTube was taken. So I made it subscriber count for YouTube Plus. So now I'm using my own app, and there's a few bugs in it. I'm thinking to myself, this has been on the App Store for 6 months, and these bugs are very frustrating to me. There was this really annoying bug. It was annoying me. No one commented and no one reviewed it saying that the bug was annoying them. But basically, the view wasn't updating. I didn't set it as the class as an observable object, which meant that anytime an update came through from the server, it wasn't being reflected on the app immediately. You'd have to close the app and restart the app, or switch between one account to another account and refresh the whole view. No one noticed it. No one complained about it, but I'm using this app. I don't like that. So now it's time to get in there and fix that little grievance that I have. While I'm in there, I'm realizing I'm also uploading these little shorts. I want to be able to track the stats on the shorts as well. So I'm adding the shorts functionality in there, the analytics of the shorts, and putting that into the widget. And so for every one video I'm uploading 7, 10 shorts. So the whole feed is being overloaded with number of shorts. And I want a meaningful way of being able to know how my videos are doing versus how my shorts are doing. So then, of course, I'm going in there and developing some new features, changing the order of the widget so I can sort the videos by the latest or number of views, just lots of these type things. The other thing that I wanted to add in there was the ability to toggle having shorts or videos in the actual widget itself. And this takes a bit more of a hit on the API. And I'm thinking this is going to be a feature that I'm going to add a paywall to. The other feature I wanted to do, if I'm going down the path of adding paywalls, at the moment it's updating every 2 hours for the subscriber count. I'm finding myself personally going to my YouTube channel because I'm in those early initial days where I've got like 120 followers or subscribers to the channel. I want to grow that, and I want that endorphin rush every time I wake up. I load up the app. I'm like, look, I've got a new subscriber. Look, someone don't unsubscribe. Definitely subscribe, okay? So I want to be able to very easily and very quickly get a real-time reflection of what my channel is doing. It's nice having the widget there, but the widget's only updating every 2 hours. I'm running to the actual YouTube channel or YouTube Studio now to get a real-time reflection of the stats. So in the next update, what I'm going to do is, remember, I haven't monetized this. It's been 6 months. Now I've made my own YouTube channel, which by default means that I'm working on my YouTube app, my YouTube tracking app, because that's just how I roll. So the next step is what I'm going to be doing with this thing is adding a subscription on there, and the subscription will allow you to collect the stats for the shorts that you upload, change the frequency to be able to bring it down to every 20 minutes. So this will be the journey from here. But the biggest takeaways for me definitely have been the fact that I should have done a bit more due diligence in the purchase of the app. I should have asked straight out, is this a copycat, or is it inspired by any other apps in the App Store, or just some basic due diligence of my own, download the other apps to see if any of them look the same as the app that I've purchased. The other thing, like, just get it in writing. So the seller, if you ask them directly in writing, is this a copycat app? And they say no, then at least you got some recourse. I didn't do that level of due diligence. The due diligence I did was looking at the App Store Connect. But I think what I might do is give you a bit of an update where the app is currently at. So in the last 30 days, we're seeing a big uptick in the number of downloads, quite a dramatic one recently. In the last 90 days, the app has had 1,700 downloads. Let me just do some basic maths. So we're now generating around about 600 downloads per month, and we've had a big, massive spike in the last couple of days. In the last couple of days, we're getting about 70 downloads per day. That's been consistent. It had a bit of a spike, and it's been consistent. And my daily user records, so the hits to the server by IP, I'm finding it's getting around about 700 daily users. So what I'm expecting to see is like 700. I'm expecting to see, once I monetize it, hoping to do around about that. I really think it's going to be about $150 to $200 recurring revenue per month, or not even recurring revenue, because what I might do is an annual subscription. So I'll do an annual subscription, and I think I'll get about $100 to $200 per month out of it. And by those calculations, 4 months, 6 months time, I will finally break even on this thing. Let's not account for all the time and the effort that I've put into it. Let's just ignore that. And let's just look at it for what it is, which is, surely it's just the money that I put down. It's not the stress of buying a copycat app. It's not the stress of having to recode it. It's not the stress of protecting the API keys. It's just the money, right? That's not how it works. I know that. If I was to employ someone to rebuild that, I probably wouldn't have bothered. I most likely would have just built the app myself. It's been a fun journey and a bit of learning there, and I have actually bought another app after that. But what I did is I bought an app from another developer on Twitter who I've interacted with in the past. So straight away I knew their reputation and who they were, and I trusted them. When you're buying from a complete stranger, you don't necessarily know who you're buying from. On the plus side, it's a real app. It did what it said on the box, so I can't really be too upset about it. And it's been a learning curve. I've made no money out of it yet, and this process is just to show you what I'll be doing to make some money on that. So I'll keep you updated with how this app's going. I'm currently working on the new version of the YouTube subscriber widget app. There's not a lot of changes that need to happen, and it should be on the App Store pretty soon. I'll keep you updated with how the revenue goes when I do monetize it. It should be an exciting one to check out. And I would also love for you to subscribe. Now, remember what I told you before, my birthday is coming up, and I want 501 subscribers on this YouTube channel, on my account, for my birthday. You are that number one. So 501 subscribers. When I reach that milestone and I have a big party and everyone's celebrating and it's the best thing that's happened in anybody's life, I'll turn to you and I'll say, you made that possible. So hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.